Hello and welcome back to me playing Oxygen Not Included. In the last episode, I've got access down to this oil area. And I'm starting to get nervous about this area over here because I've got a lot of heat that's escaping and eventually it's going to be heading towards this living area. I also am going to be consuming liquid that is just getting warmer and warmer. So let's handle that situation. I'm going to put a liquid reservoir right here. I'm going to transfer that liquid into this. And we're going to build an insulation layer on top of this and on top of this. I'm going to put some 2 tiles here because this is where I'm storing my bleach stone. I don't want that to change. So that's what's happening on that world. Let's go over to this world. I see a little bit more crude oil was put in right there. Pug slug. I will wrangle you and you're going to join the pug slug that's already here and start to produce more power. When you're sleeping anyways. Now I have to decide what I want to work on. I've got this. Oh, I forgot automated lights over here, so I'll put that in. Boom, boom, automation wire going in. So no crude oil has arrived yet, but it will soon enough. Oh, the dupes can get... Oh no, that's fine. I guess it's fine that they can go around. I'm going to be putting an ammo suit station around here eventually. But I need more Atmo suits first. And they're slowly being produced over here. Maybe one thing we could do is build another... I built this here, an orbital cargo module. Let's put another rover. I thought I was going to... Oh, not Trailblazer. I eventually want to do that. Let's actually build another rover. Have that sent over. They can go to Glowibo. There's a little bit more construction they could do for us, including, probably more importantly than anything else, is to make a rocket platform. I don't think the robot can build it, but at least they can supply the material. Okay, so this pump is running. Let's put tile right here just to bump up that water and make sure all that water goes into this pump and ultimately makes its way in here. I feel like we're going to need another liquid reservoir. Don't think that's going to be enough. So build a second one of those. So that's just going to store the water here. I'm just nervous, as I mentioned earlier, about that water getting warmer and warmer, being pumped up here and warming all of this. I can also see some polluted water that has food poisoning in it. I wouldn't mind processing that back in the homeworld. Got to be very careful about this because I don't want to mix up the crude line. Crude oil. But I'll have this set up in such a way that I can pick and choose what I want to send to the homeworld at any given time. This could go horribly wrong if I don't pay enough attention. This game definitely requires you to pay a lot of attention at times. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a change. I'm going to use this cut tool to cut here. And I'm going to have a liquid shutoff valve, 2 of them. Conductive panel. Just realized that's something that's new. Okay. Hold on, I've never seen this before. Curious liquid allowing extreme temperature exchange with overlapping buildings. Oh, that is amazing. Okay, that is something I'm going to be experimenting with. Not just yet, but down the line, soon enough. Liquid shut off, we'll do that in the meantime. I think it's going to be safe to make this out of lead. So we're going to have 2 of those here. Each of those are going to have their own shut off. So 2, again continuing with lead, 2 and 2. So I can control whether I want crude oil or polluted water to be sent through. We have to have something similar on the other side as well. It's going to join in here. To an insulated pipe. Okay, so that will be built. And I can take some of this polluted water and have that sent to the homeworld to be processed. Because I don't have a place for it to process it here. Well, that is something I could do ultimately, but not just yet. So I'm going to make sure all that water is pumped out before I dig this. I wonder if I'll need a third one of these. There's a chance. So if you want to calculate how much space you need, it's about, yeah, you can put in 5 tons, which essentially means 5 of these squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, assuming they're completely full, would be 1 liquid reservoir. So that's 1. Another 2 over there. I can see that I'm going to need at least another 1. But maybe we should turn our attentions to the other base because I see some dupes going idle. So let's go over there. This is built. Okay, so I think it was coffee that I specified that was going to be crewing this. We're going to go back over here, deploy some material, deploy a rover. Let's look inside this rocket, make sure we have calories. Hold on, we don't. Hold on. Don't want to send you out in space without anything to eat. So I'm going to destroy manual generator temporarily, put in some food. Oh, and liquid. Oh, no, that's fine. That's just going to remove that out in space later on. Alright, I'll be back when they get caught up on this. So just looking at the top of my base here, a lot of hydrogen has been used up. So I'm consuming a lot of power. Most of the power, I believe, is coming from this guy here. That's the polluted water to oxygen system. The dupes here are looking for something to do. This is dried up. Okay, so they can get rid of this. Actually, hold on before you do that. Might as well dig that out. I see some water here. We'll probably dig underneath that, so I think this is okay for what we want to do. So the last little bit of water is being pumped out now. Might as well mop up. Actually, right here is going to be fun. We want to build an insulation effectively around this. Just leave that alone for the time being. Okay, so we've got our food in here, so let's take off. Tell Coffee, the pilot, to go in here, so crew that. Begin launch sequence. So Coffee should be going out in space. Sending the second rover on Glowibo, as well as deploying this material. 2 tons of refined metal. I believe it's copper I put in there. And we've got to start to improve the power situation. Now, there's 2 things I could do. I'm worried about my circuitry. So one thing I don't want to do is have this overloaded, sending power into this system. So I can either make a second line and add more solar panels off of that, or what I might do instead is bring in a heavy watt wire system and send that into there. Now, just before I forget, let's get Coffee to take their mask off. They're going to destroy this, make a manual generator. Once they're done piloting. Okay, going back here, I think I'm going to go with the heavy watt wire option, but I don't want to have that go through this area where the dupes have to see it because it's a very ugly thing. So I think I'm going to try to put it right about here. That's going to require a bit of figuring out, especially with these ladders. So what I might do, Here, let's get access to a blueprint. Oh, oxyfern. Not using those just yet, but I could in the future. So I'm going to put this in such a way that I can make 4 tile rooms everywhere. Or floors. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. This is going to allow the dupes to be able to get across. It actually works out perfectly here. Put one there. No, I had that right. Doesn't really matter if this is perfect, especially further up here, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This just allows the dupes to get across, because ultimately what I want to do is hide this heavy wire when it goes in, once it's built. So that should do, at least for now. Dig out like this. Starvation. That might just be a dupe that is on its way to food. Maybe? Oh, yeah, no, 66,000 calories. They're gonna be fine. Complaining. They're basically hungry and there's lots of food and they just haven't found the food yet. Okay, so let's design this out. We're gonna have heavy wire go in and around here. It's gonna have to go through this room. That's okay. So this is gonna take a while to build all of this. What did I make that out of? Copper ore. So I may need to dig more of that out. But I've got lots to work with. This is a metal-rich asteroid. If this wasn't a metal-rich asteroid, I might be choosing not to do this. Let's give you a manual generator because we need to get this thing running. Oxygen diffusers. Running off the battery, but you need to produce your own power. Where are you in terms of progress? 78 seconds, so you'll be there soon. Okay, so let's destroy this. We'll add our insulated tiles in. Oh, I can see this is a problem. This is not nice. So I think you can kind of see there's this phosphorus that's being leaked through, and that's why we're getting water here. It could also be leaking from the dirt as well. So those dupes are on break, so they'll worry about that later on. Just continue this project here. I can see more ladders are going to be needed at this location. So again, we're going to have heavy wire go down like this. That's going to allow us to have heavy wires that go all the way across this. So we'll be able to have a lot more solar panels. Eventually, I'm going to have other equipment up here. So it's not a bad idea to bring up the heavy wire since I'm going to want it ultimately anyways. I would like to produce a lot more power. I think I have 2 manual generators. They are in a power station. But the dupes are having to use them from time to time. Could also switch to natural gas. But I'm not producing enough natural gas in my mind to make that an actual viable power source for the time being. Okay, dupes here are looking for something to do. I've got a task for you. Build me a tile right there. While you're at that, to make this out of igneous rock, add some insulation. That's not insulation. Add some insulation made out of igneous rock, like that. So that's just going to give us temperature protection from this hot zone to the base. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Pressure damage. What is going on? Let's just disable that Destroy that. We've got to get this sort of balanced out. Okay, let's try recreating those two tiles. So what I'll do is we want to have insulated tiles over here as well. So I'm just going to make a whole line of insulated tiles from here all the way over. Actually, let's do some mopping first. Alright, so that should keep those dupes busy. If I forgot about coffee, I did a little bit. Let's deploy the metal. That's going to be landing on this asteroid. Let's deploy the rover. Put that right here. So rover's going to land. And we can send coffee back with the rocket to the home world. Weibo, we're going to have to make sure that the rocket, or rover here has something to work on continuously. Can they unpack those? They can? Okay, excellent. So I can get the rocket, or rover rather, to unpack all of these. That's got some copper in it, fine metal. That's going to allow me to make a rocket platform. Once they unpack enough of it, I think 800 tons or kilograms, 8 tons. Mopping is needed. Rover can't do that. The other thing I want the rover to do is build a pump down here. Would like it if they could add insulation, because I don't want this to freeze. That's something I'm going to have to wait on the dupes. But I want a pump built in here to take out this polluted water, take it up, and use it for growing food. Because before the dupes actually arrive and try to survive here, I want to be able to produce food for them, or at least have a lot of infrastructure for it in place. Yeah, the dupes here, they're going to be busy for a while putting heavy watt wire together, although they're making good progress, actually. So I'm going to have the heavy watt wire go around the living area. Maybe we'll tuck this down here. Let's get rid of this old system. That was an old pipe or pump. Was used a long time ago. We're going to avoid the kitchen if we can. Maybe feed it like through here. Get rid of that wire. Have this go down like this. Just going to need some ladders to make this happen. Check on the insulation project over here. Got lots of water here. Now I want to not forget that I want to send this water into this system. Just do that from the end. Alright, I'll look at the dupes to catch up. Oh, hold on, before I do that. Make sure that this guy has enough to do. This is his old buddy. Can actually destroy that, get some metal back. Where is he? There he is. He's going up and down. So I want a pump built here. That's going to send material up. This is going to be polluted water. That can be used for farming. It can also clean that water and use it in the washroom, as well as producing oxygen. Okay, so insulated tile in this area is taken care of. Let's do some mopping. Do the same thing over here. I think that's more priority in my mind to build tiles right there. Then we'll quickly insulate here over. some digging right there. Water might fall through here, so I'm a little bit nervous about this. So what I might do is dig this out a bit and put some tiling on top of this. So that'll keep those dupes busy. Over here, they're probably... Actually, they're making really good progress with this heavy watt wire. Let's just complete this floor. I'm going to destroy this if I want to have any hope of putting this together. So I want to avoid digging through this. So we have a ladder-based system. Let's just have that go up here. Start off by cutting this off, building a wall right here. More solar panels. Eventually it's going to be a heavy watt wire line connecting there. Robot's doing some tasking. I think the next focus is going to be on some place to grow food. Let's do that right here. Get some natural plants. I might even just leave those. Is there a possibility of making a nature reserve? 1, 2, 3. Not exactly. Let's not worry about that. I think it's fine to have just the one nature reserve over this side. Let's make sure that's still intact. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 plants. Okay, so we're good. Just need to have that perk sign built. I wonder if morale affects a robot. I'm pretty sure not. It's a robot, right? Doesn't make any sense. This thing's about to go, but I think it's overpressured. Igneous rock. Installation is happening. Heavy watt wire is going in. Let's continue this heavy watt wire. Dupes are making really good progress here, so I think we'll have solar panels pretty quickly. Or more solar panels, I should say. Alright, let them get caught up. Okay, connecting more heavy watt wires. That's going to do a connection from there. You can actually put in the piece that's going to connect to the actual main base. Or heavy watt wire system with the power control and industry and all of that. So that's making its way all the way up to about here. Let me just take this out. Do a jump over. Wire bridge. Heavy watt joint plate right here because I want to make sure that this is still farm. We pretty much have this almost fully going out. Let's see, how do I design this? I'm going to destroy that. I'm going to destroy this. I'm going to change this to heavy watt wire plates. Let's take this out. I'll tell the dupes I would like this to all be heavy watt wires. Let's take that out. That was the old enclosed telescope. Let's see. Where should I put this? I'm gonna put this like right there. go around this. Actually, let's just take those out. I'm going to change those for... Be careful, I don't want to destroy the pipes underneath it. Just those guys. This is going to be a heavy wire joint plate. Want this in place before I get too far. Now, the other thing... Be good to have another heavy wire joint plate here. Maybe I'll back off just a bit. 1, 2. Design this so that I still have 2 doors of protecting the gas from leaking too much into space. I need a tile right here. Stop that gas from escaping. Build ladders going across here because I see some carbon dioxide that's liquid form. That's just going to prevent the dupes from getting their feet wet. Now I can convert this to heavy wire. Got to be careful. Have they actually connected this? They work really quickly. They have, which means anything that's connected to regular wire is in for a lot of pain. So how about we don't connect that just yet? Do that later. So right now we're not getting any power from solar source while this is going on. But the dupes are working pretty quick, so I think that they should have this all in place pretty soon. Cycle 150. Dupes are still adding insulation over here. They managed to dig out this area. I'm worried about this zombie spore, so I think I'm going to stop there. I think it's best to make it pump right here. Oh, I have to worry about the type of... At 81 degrees, I think I'm going to need gold amalgam. Do I have that? I don't think I do. I think that exists over here, the Chloe bow. Okay, interesting. What am I going to do about that? Don't know just yet. Let's get a farm together over here. So I've got lots of it here. I think I just need to get a dupe into this world. Is there anything else I could do? I could make steel. Do I have the research for steel? So I need to get a Klin together. Let's produce some refined carbon. Let's make that happen. And we need to use this to produce a little bit of steel, send some steel over to the other world. So we don't need gold amalgam, but if we had it, it would be an easier method. But that's alright. But I can still put in the rest of the infrastructure around this. So eventually I'm going to have a pump in here, I know that much, so I'll want to have a pipe. I don't need to have it insulated inside this hot zone. But once I switch out here, I'm going to bring in my insulation pipe so I can get the crude oil out into there. This is going to need some power. So at least this will keep these dupes busy while the other asteroid or homeworld works on making some steel. See some idle dupes. That's over here. So you've got your heavy wire in. Let's go back up to this. Let's see if we can plug this in. I think we can. Continue the heavy wires to add in more solar panels and not have to worry about circuitry overloading. So now we're getting power from solar panels back again, and we're bringing it in with heavy wire system, avoiding the base or the most of the actual area. Let's have a look at this actually in terms of decoration. Not that that's my focus at this point of the game. Now, yeah, wouldn't be a bad idea to create some doors to block this off, so the dupes don't have to look at it when they're going up. Doors are going to allow them to at least continue to go back and forth if they need to. But I'm just trying to make it such that the dupes don't have to look at all that heavy wire most of the time. Some more doors. One here, one here. Here, here. Just block off everything else from sight. Glebo. Yeah, we need to keep you busy. Let's make some hydroponic farm in this zone. You can't create those. Like, you can at least dig that area out and make, or supply the material anyway. Worry about this long term being wasted away. So let's create a big tile system right along like this. I don't want to maintain my farm status. So that should keep them busy. I also want a room where I can, a little bit of industry. Main thing that I want to have is a water sieve, so I can produce some clean water. Wherever I see these mud tiles, I get a little bit nervous. I prefer to fill those in. Is there anything else? Oh, yeah, let's not forget. Rocket platform. Do we... No! I brought over copper ore. No, I didn't. There's copper. Okay, what is, I'm a little confused. How much? 200? 400? 6? 8? And counting up. For a rocket platform, I need 800 refined metal. Oh. 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 Oxylite. Is there... I never... Oh. Whoa, 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 whoa. I've caught asteroids landing. Let's go. It looks like I see asteroids landing on both asteroids, I assume. Maybe that's not necessarily the case, but they all, when they fall all at the same time across all your planets or asteroids. I guess that kind of makes sense. I guess this whole world goes through an asteroid belt at times. Though, interestingly enough, each one might have its own different type of stuff that falls. This one being oxylite, this one being copper, ice, or slime. None that go into this world. So I guess that kind of defeats the theory that there's asteroids that, or meteorites that go through everywhere. Or maybe this is a coincidence, they're happening at the same time. But I want to see my first asteroid land. Oh, there it is. Ha! Cool. Pause it and everything. Can you click on it? Slime is a thick biomixture of algae, fungi, and... sorry. I'm going to just try anyway. Mucoplasmatides. Is that an actual word? I don't think so. It can be distilled into algae, so yeah, it's basically slime. It's just telling you about it. But it says it's a meteor. What is the current temperature that's falling at? 48 degrees. That's not particularly hot. It has a lot of slime lung in it. How much mass? 337 kilograms. Germs, we know that. Let's just watch it fall and hit. Boom. There it is. Slime is now on the world. Let's go to Glebo, see if we can see that. That's where that, oh, that's where that came from, I bet. Oh no, this is gotta be oxylite, right? So I don't know, or was that regolith? I guess anytime you have asteroids, there's always a chance of regolith. Which makes me nervous because that means it's probably really hot. I'd love to get this oxylite inside, but that's not a task that this guy can do. let's up the priority. There's another asteroid. Cool. So we've seen our first asteroid. At least I am in this playthrough. Well, that's exciting. Speed things up a little bit. Get this robot out here because I really want to make sure I get my rocket platform built before that thing runs out of power. Still no. What is going... Okay, no, I just had to update. Will that cause damage to things that are out in space? That I don't know. A little bit nervous about that question. I'm going to build a ladder up so that when the dupes do land here, that they are able to get down. Hold on. I'm just going to think a little bit ahead. I want to save a spot for fire pole. We'll go along this ladder. So I'm just going to move that over by 1. But this is probably the most important thing that the rocket or rover can do. Is building this, or at least supplying it with material and the ladder around it. It's going to do a lot to help the dupes when they arrive. But I'm worried about this taking damage from the meteors. So those meteors don't seem as nasty and dangerous as the meteors that used to be in this game. Maybe that's just this particular asteroid. They're not falling very high to... Okay, never mind. Yeah, there's a bit of heat. I just don't know whether it'll actually strike objects and buildings. Okay, interesting. I'm going to make this a high priority task for the rover. Let's go back to these other 2 worlds. Main world is now has all the dupes available. Oh, I probably can't actually build this just because they need to dig this out. So I need to be mindful of that. I also don't want to get the dupes stuck down here. So I'm going to have to attend to that. We're also going to build some solar panels in the other direction. Oh, here over. I should have lots of glass. I believe I produce tons. We're going to want to have heavy wire connecting this. And that's going to feed into this just to produce even more power for all our needs. Miner's able to get through, dig these tiles out. I'm just going to keep an eye on this so that they don't get into trouble. These dupes, they've got their work cut out for them. They've added their insulation though. That's protecting all the heat from going up into their living area. Now, the other thing I can get this robot to do is build some tiling above this just as radiation protection. So that's just for the dupes when they're going up and down. Put in the fire pole here, though I know the robot can't actually build that. The dupes can when they arrive. Duplicate operation required. It has all the material it needs. I just need to make sure that this ladder exists. Actually, I think the robot might need to have some ladders built around here so that they can at least access the construction site, because this isn't going to be built when it's just the rover. Blueprint. What are we going to get? Glass and an arbor acorn. Let's take an acorn. Yeah, let's send it to this world. Why not? This is going to need to be connected with power. They're both on, which is not really what I want, so let's turn those both off. And what we can do is we can send the polluted water over to the other world to be processed. Let's make sure we have the opposite set up over here. I think we'll end on that for this episode. So we'll have a liquid shock. Where is that coming into here? Right here. So liquid is arriving at this location. And we'll have two shutoffs here to change the direction of what's going to be going in. So we'll want one for polluted water and one for regular water. So let's build the basic piping. Do a disconnect right here will be good. Very much looking forward to trying the conductive panel out. It'll be coming up in a later episode. So I want to have it set up this way so that this feeds into both of them, but I'm only going to actually operate one at a time. So the bottom one's going to be for oil, the top one will be for the polluted water. Polluted water doesn't need to be insulated. These will both need some power, so we'll connect that with wire, just like that. And we'll put a switch on both of these. 1 and 2. I wish the default for a switch was actually false instead of true. I don't think there's any way to switch that until after it's built, fortunately. So when this gets down here, what line is that? That's for excess water. This one is no longer used. Let's get rid of that bridge. It's going to go away. We'll send this into here. Boom, boom. Do 2 cuts. 1, 2. I'm controlling the rate of which this polluted water is going to go in, because I don't want to overflow this system, washroom, and all of that. So now what I can do is I can say over here, I'm not expecting polluted water or crude oil. I'm expecting polluted water. Over in this world, I can tell it to bring over polluted water and only polluted water. Now I just need to have this connected. And just wait for the dupes to finish up some of that construction. So now I see some polluted water from the washrooms going through this. I've enabled that one, so only the polluted water is able to go through. It's going to be making its way to the teleportation equipment and ultimately be sent over to this world. Verify that I've got it all set up correctly over here. You can see the polluted water going in from here. It has germs in it. That's okay, so that's allowing it to go, essentially telling it to go into this system and ultimately sent into here to be processed. That's going to convert it to normal water. This will remove the germs, and then we'll get water back into our overall system from this polluted water. That's been provided from the other 2 dupes using the washroom and taking showers and all of that over there. Well, that's going to do for now. We've made good progress. I have this polluted water line. I've got a lot of construction in for the crude oil. It's not built just yet, but it will be soon. We'll have that going in the next episode. We've got to make some steel to make that complete. And over on Glebo, I'm happy to have a rocket platform, or at least the materials provided, so the dupes can land and just build that and have a rocket land down here. But we also have this infrastructure. I might put in some of the piping just before this guy completely shuts off. And where is he on power? 66 over 180. All right, well, thank you for watching, and hopefully I will see you in a future episode. Until then.